for instruction 9 then guys, it's going to be a bit fiddly, but it's doable. We've got this part of the block from a previous issue, and this piece here, we've basically got to put the injectors into all these holes here. So just move that to one side a minute. Just carefully does this, guys. You might find it easier holding it in the air or onto the desk. I'm going to try it on the desk. So you have to take this piece, try over those two holes like that, and make sure the injectors are all in those little. This part from the previous issue, what we need to do now is this part we've been building just. Carefully just position that over that hole just there, and then take 10A to be attaching these two pieces together. As you can see, those now, look at this. How this is looking, guys. We attach those two pieces together, and then what we're going to do is put two screws, FM screws, right, one into it. We've now got, look at this top, look at the detail of this, guys. In fact, you've got these two clips here, they've got to go in and be lined up. Hey all, welcome back to the channel, Rich43. Hope you're all doing good, guys. Hope you're all well. Here we are again with the Fast and Furious Toyota Supra Mark IV from Fanhome, and we're at issue 10. If you're not already subscribed, guys, remember to subscribe, like, also comment and share. Press that bell notification. You'll always be notified every time I put this build up on the channel or anything else I put up on the channel. But without further ado, guys, let's crack on with the Toyota Supra from Fanhome. Right then, let's get cracking, guys. Here we are, we have the parts and the magazine. So what we'll do is take a quick look through the magazine first. Beautiful pictures, beautiful cars, and really good content where you can look through these mags, guys, and enjoy the magazines between your builds coming to your home. Love it. Right, we've got a busy issue this week, guys. We are doing part 6 of the engine block, so we're going to be putting a lot more parts onto the engine, and I think it may be finished, the engine anyway, in this issue. I would have thought so. I've been on the engine quite a long time now, but as you can see, we have got 20 instructions to be putting this thing together. So I would have thought at the end of this video, guys, that's what we're going to be looking at least most of this beautiful engine of the Toyota Supra Mark IV will be done. I would have thought we'd have to put the gearbox on it, etc. But yeah, we're going to crack on, guys, because we've got a lot to do today. So sit back, relax, let's get cracking with this build of the Toyota Supra Mark IV from Fanhome. Okay then, guys, so here are the parts. There's quite a few parts, as you can see, so I'm not going to read through them. What I'll do is I'll try my best as we're going through the video to obviously tell you what part we're using at the time. We've got a selection of screws, FM, KP, PM, got some pipes and AP screws. So I'm going to move these to one side, and we're going to get the first parts, what we need for instruction 1 out, and we're going to get this build underway. Okay then, so for instruction 1, we need these two pieces here, which is 10I and 10J. All we've got to do, guys, is you've got 2 pins here. Those 2 pins have just got to go into those corresponding holes there. So if we carefully just push those together. Right, sorry with that click. That is how we're looking at the end of instruction 1. Pretty simple, yeah? Right, so now what we've got to do, and just take a look what we've got to be pointing. Yes, so we want to be looking at this item that way round, and we want to take 2 more pieces. This is 10M, little black plastic piece, and on the back, if you can see that on camera, it's like got a circle but like with a straight edge on, and you can see the pin there is also the same. I'm just making sure that's the right way around. Yeah, this way around, guys. All we've got to do is push that onto there like so. This part of this stage, guys, of this magazine now, it's just all about pushing things onto pins, etc., but they're going to look very effective. So there you go. That is slightly off. It's meant to be like that. I would have thought where this pipe's going to be going on. Also, instruction 2, we need to take hold of this piece here, another plastic piece, 10L. This has just got a circle hole and a circular pin there. What we're going to do is push that on to that pin. Very tight fittings, which is cool because you've not got to glue them on, guys. Just be careful not to break the pins as you're pushing them on. But they will go on with a bit of persuasion. And what we're going to do is put that way around like that. Few information as well. At the top down there's also a little pin which will go into the little hole, and obviously the big one into their big hole. And that is how that's looking at the end of instruction 2. Let's crack on and move on to instruction 3. Now for instruction 3, we want to take part 10, 0, which is this piece here. All these are plastic, by the way. You can see there's another D-shaped pin there. Where that's got to go is into this hole here, which also has a D-shaped hole. So you can only put it in one way, basically, guys. Just check this is the right way. Yeah, I think so. I'll just check I've got the right side. Yeah, on that side. So just look at the way the hole is. Look at the D-shaped pin. Actually, just push it in. Just like that. That's that, and that's how that is looking. And they are slightly off, guys, you can see, but that's the way they're meant to be. It's going to fit the engine perfectly. Same as that piece there. But that's the way it's meant to be, with the way the pins are shaped. You can't put them in any other way. So you know they're all being fitted perfectly right. So that's at the end of instruction 3. Let's crack on, move to the next instruction. Instruction 4, that's how that's looking. Okay, for instruction 4, we're basically putting these 2 pieces, 10K and 10N. 10K is going onto that hole there, and that one's going onto that pin there. That's 10N going onto that pin, so another D-shaped pin. We're only going one way, guys, so just push that into that hole there. Just be careful you've got it lined up, because if not and you push on it, you're going to break your piece, obviously. Just carefully line it up. They might be a bit tight at first and tough to put in. Trust me, if you bear with it, they will go in. Just take your time, there's no rush. This is a tough one to go in, to be fair. I'm going to go in. Tell you what, let's put the easy one on first. I'll come back to that. That's what I always do. Have a breather. It usually works out the second time round. There you go. Use physics, guys, and use your strength onto the table. Like that. That's gone on perfectly. There you go. So that's how that's looking. Now he's got to put this one on. It's been a pain, but we'll keep going. We'll be fine. He says, right. Where's the old one? There it is. So that's the right shape. Just got to be pushed into there. There we go, it's clicked in. So at the end of instruction 3, so at the end of instruction 4, there we go. That's how we're looking at this piece so far. A lot of little parts been put on, but doesn't that look effective? And isn't it popping? To be fair, I think this is the easy bit. I think we're going to have a lot of pipes coming off these little pins here and here. But anyway, let's crack on. Okay then guys, so I've took this part, or taken this part, it's my slang in the UK, using my slang language, this part from a previous issue. What we need to do now is this part we've been building, just carefully just position that over that hole just there, and then take 10A, which is a part received in today's issue, and place that on there like so, and then screw in 2 AP screws to connect that and secure it to this piece we had in a previous issue. So let's get this screw put in. It's amazing how many little parts we're putting in here, guys, but it's going to make this thing pop. It'll be a beautiful engine. Let me just line this screw up a bit better than that, so we can get that put in. Right, so what we're going to do is put that in there like that and secure it with these AP screws. I think that's in. Don't seem to be biting. You know me guys, I've got a number of screwdrivers and just use whichever does the job. So we'll get these screwed in and then we'll move on to instruction 7. Yeah, and just a little tip guys, don't screw these in too hard, as they're both only plastic pieces and you don't want to be breaking your thread, so they're not secure. At worst case, if that happens, you could always glue them, but you don't want to just cause that havoc for yourself. But that's how that's looking at the end of instruction 6. We'll move on to instruction 7. Okay, so instruction 7 guys, we want to take this piece 10D and apply that to there. You've got 2 pins here, so it's all about just pushing it into position. So make sure the pins are lined up right and then push those in. But be careful in this situation guys, when you're pushing on your model, not to break any or damage any of your other parts you already put on in previous issues. So let's just, yeah, that's gone on, that's cool. And then also we need to apply 10E, another D-shaped hole, so it'll only go in one way. That's just basically being pushed onto the piece we've just put on. Very simple guys, it's all about just pushing the pieces in where they need to be, but you can imagine it's going to be very effective when they're all put together. And just make sure it's all lined up right. And when you're happy, push it on. There we go. And that's how that's looking at the end of instruction 7. So now we're going to move on to instruction 8. We need to take this little piece, all these are plastic pieces guys, this is 10F, you've got 2 little pins there as you can see, and those little pins are going to be going into those 2 holes there. I think one pin is bigger than the other, so obviously you know the score guys. Big pin into the big hole and little pin into the small hole. So that's nice and lined up there. Let's just carefully push that in. Yep, there we go, that's how that's looking. Beautiful. And then we need to take this piece, which is 10G. Now this feels, this is like a hard plastic, harder than the rest of it, if that makes sense. And we'll be putting this into these 2 holes here. You've got a little pin. Pin goes onto the one hole, and then we're going to be screwing a screw, which is a KP screw, into the other hole. We'll just line that up. It's going to be going into that bit there. I'll show you shortly. Just bear with me while I get the screw lined up. Let's get that lined up, and then we'll get this attached. Right, so if I Very fiddly guys, but it's all good. That's lined up there. Yeah, we'll screw that in now with a KP screw. Again, always being careful not to damage any of the pieces you've put on your model at this stage. So just go until you feel that resist. There you go, that's nice and tight. And that's how we're looking so far, guys. At instruction 8, look at that. This engine's going to be amazing. The Toyota Supra Mark IV. Love one. Always loved the Supra, especially when the Fast and Furious brought it to the movies. But yeah, let's keep going to instruction 9. Okay, so instruction 9, we've got 10C, which is this piece here, and then 10B. Basically, again, same old same, guys. Got a D-shaped pin, pushing that to a D-shaped hole. Just bear with it, guys. Take your time. If they're not going in, they will go in. They're only meant to go in one way. So just twist it about, do whatever you need to do. Take your time, and you will find you'll get it where it needs to be. I think that's going in there nicely. Bear with me if you can't see a lot as I'm doing it, guys. I will show you the outcome once applied to the model. Yep, that's that in. And then we take 10B. Basically, we just put that on top of that piece we've put in. Another D-shaped pin. Careful when you push on it up, guys, not to damage the piece you've just put in. You might snap the pin. That makes sense. This bit here. So you want to be careful not to put too much pressure as you're pushing in, but you're going to have to put a bit in, a fair bit of pressure to apply it. To be fair, you might be better putting these two pieces together before applying it to the model, which I wish I'd have done now. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take it out. That's what model building is all about, guys. Working it out. Sorry a minute. Yeah, I'm going to have little marks on my thumbs and everything pushing these little pieces of plastic. So that's how that's looking. Pretty cool. Now I'm going to put it back on the model. Wells together. That might be a bit easier, I think. There we go. Brilliant. That's how that's looking now. I love that. At the end of instruction 9, I'm going to move on now to instruction 10. It's down as 1010 in the instruction book. Look at that, guys. It's part of the manifold. Look how that's looking. Nice shiny bits. The detail, how many pieces we've put on just in this issue. It's amazing. So now for instruction 10, guys, I'm going to take this little pipe and put it on this pin here, and then the pin on the back just there. So you might have to kink the pipe so you can line it up and push it on that pin, and it should just sort itself out. That's going on. This is the shortest of the pipes we've got today, and there we go, it's on. And it will have a little kink in it, as I say. That's what it tells you on the instructions. You could always just carefully squeeze the kink out, but there you go, that's how that's looking at the end of instruction 10. And just a little word of warning, I've made the mistake so you don't. Make sure when you put this onto the manifold piece here, it's the right way around. I've had to, off camera, turn it round and put it this way. Basically these pieces are on the wrong side, so I've just unscrewed it and put it back together. But now I've told you that, you probably won't make that mistake, but it's good for me to do it so you don't. Right, so let's move on to instruction 11. Okay, love this. So for instruction 11 and 12, it's about attaching these two pieces together. As you can see, the hose net, look at this. Okay, this is looking, guys. We'll attach those two pieces together, and then what we're going to do is put two, what's the screws? FM screws, right one into here. Let's just make sure that's lined up. And put the screw on ready. Like that, and then apply the FM screw into this hole here, and then we're going to put another one in there. So let me just find the appropriate screwdriver to tighten that up. Of course, you want this nice and tight, guys. You don't want your engine block falling apart. Right, so that's that one in. And then for instruction 13, as I said, we want to put a screw down between this manifold here into that hole, and screw that in nice and tight, connecting these two pieces. Yeah, that's nice and tight, and look at that. That's how we're looking at the minute at the end of instruction 13. I told you this was going to be a busy one, guys, but isn't it amazing? Look at that. Beautiful. So let's crack on, get some more parts from the last few issues we've done of the engine block and get these put together. Right, so now for instruction 14, this is going to be popping, guys. Basically, these two pins sticking up, we've got to be screwing some PM screws to connect these two pieces together. So you just line those up, like, look at this, like that, and now it is becoming the Toyota Supra Mark IV engine. Look at that, beautiful. I do like the shiny side of it there. So I'm going to place that there like that. I'm going to get these PM screws, which takes us right into instruction 15, and we're going to attach these pieces together. And remember, guys, as you're screwing into metal, you can use a bit of oil on your screws to make life a bit easier for them to easily go in. But between you and me, touch wood, as I touch my head, I'm not having any issues as yet. And I'll put no oil on whatsoever. But yeah, to make life easy, guys, if you don't want to even take that chance, put a bit of oil on the tip of the screw, and you should be able to screw them in a lot easier. But if your parts are like mine, I'm not having any issues so far. So screw these in nice and tight, and then we've got these two pieces put together, and then we're going to be moving on to putting the rocker cover on of instruction 16. So just making sure it's tight. Yeah, that's how we're looking so far, guys. Look at that. I'm going to show you all around it. There's the sump. Beautiful. But I will do an outro shot at the end, guys, so stay tuned for that. We're going to move on to the next instruction, instruction 16. Instruction 16, we've now got, look at this, top, look at the detail of this, guys. I'm going to have to polish this up in a minute. I'm getting all my fingerprints on it, but oh, I'm really enjoying this build, guys. I'm loving this build this week. This whole, I really am enjoying this build so far, and I'm going to be consistent and try and put these out weekly, guys, so stay tuned for that and subscribe for more. You know the score. But yeah, that's what we've got to do for instruction 16. Basically just put part 10H into the side of the cylinder head. So basically this is like a recirculation tube where all the oil vapors come out, basically. So that was easy. Now let's move on to 17. We'll bring this piece back, the rest of the engine. Now how we're going to do this thing, guys, is basically, don't forget we've got the injectors here. I think that's what they are. They've got to be lined up with the holes. Line it all up and just carefully push it on the top. Look at that, that is amazing. Push it on the top of the engine like so. It's just a shame you're not going to see those blue pieces, the injectors, because they're inside the engine, and that is never going to be seen ever again. But look at that, doesn't that look amazing? Comment down below, guys, what you think of that, and if you're not following me, follow me for this build alone. This is amazing, guys. Look at the shininess, and all you have to do with this cover is push that on and it just clips into place. But this deserves a nice wipe down in a minute. This is beautiful, guys. Look at that. I could just look at that all day, and it's not even finished yet. So can you imagine when this build is fully finished? It's going to be amazing. And I want you to come along with me to watch it. Right, so back to the build anyway. What we're going to do is turn it on its side And now for instruction 18, these are the two pipes we've got left, guys. One's a thin long one and this is a thick one. This one, yep, so just check with your tweezers that that's gone on the pin nice and tight so it's not going to come off yet. And then the other side of the pipe goes onto this pin just on your turbo there. So I'm going to turn this around, guys, just so I can get to that a bit easier. Carefully just push that over that pin, plastic nip or whatever you want to call it. Yep, that's how that's looking at the end of instruction 18. All these little pipes and that and extras are going to make it really pop, guys. I mean, seriously, I can't get over how this looks in the flesh. If you're not building these, guys, and you love Fast and Furious or like the Toyota Supras, I would recommend that you do this build. It's amazing. Right then, so let's put that inside because we're still going to work on this. We've got to take this piece here, another shiny piece from a previous issue, and we now need to put this over the turbo. So let me just see what it's saying in the instructions. I think this has to go. So the turbo cover, you've got these two clips here. They've got to go in and be lined up with those holes there. So it will only go in one position. Just have a little play around, guys. And then when you've got it in the right place, you will know. There we go. That's basically where you want it and how you want it looking. And then we're going to take two FM screws to screw that cover into place. Pretty simple. There we go. Very simple but very effective, guys, and very cool. This engine is going to be beautiful along with the car also. Can't wait till it's, dare I say, fully built, even though I'm wishing the build away. But man, it's going to be pride and place with all the other car models I've got. And while I'm on this note, I'm not going to say what I'm doing, but there is another model coming to the channel, guys. So I've got 7 on the go now. Back to this one. Let's have a look at the shininess on that. Look at the turbo cover. That is amazing. You've got to admit that's amazing. I'm absolutely loving this build. I keep saying it, sorry guys, I'm so excited. I'm really excited about this. But back to now instruction 20. We've got to take this vacuum hose and this has got to basically go on this pin here. So carefully just push it over that pin. Use tweezers if you have to, but as you can see that's going pretty cool. Right, where it's got to go now is under there, that pin there. So we've got to use some tweezers, I think, on this, guys. Might be a bit easier. This pipe seems very long to go under there, though, to be fair. But trust the process, guys. That's what it's telling us to do, so that's what we'll do. But yeah, there's a lot of pipe excess here, guys. But it's what it's saying do, so we're going to do it. Simple life. Let me just turn that. Took that pipe off, that connector pin there, and I've just placed it onto that pin under there, which goes onto the vacuum. Basically, this is the end of the vacuum hose, which is going to go into the vacuum reservoir, which is this piece here. And then it may be now simpler to connect it to this pin. So doing it the other way around, basically. Needs must, guys. Just do whatever needs doing with these models, whichever's easiest and whichever gets the job done. Yeah, got that done anyway. I think that's a bit too big, but anyhow, it's fit. It looks good. Yeah, that's okay, I think. But yeah, if you have issues with that, then you should put that on first by the instructions saying, but if not, take it off, put the other side on, whichever gets it done, guys. But guys, that is it for this issue this week, doing the engine block part 6, issue 10. Do hope you enjoyed it, guys. Take care. And that is it for this week's build of the Fast and Furious Toyota Supra from Fanhome, guys. We've been working more on the engine, and this is part 6 of the engine build on the engine block, etc. Putting all the little extras on, so it's looking pretty cool at the moment. If you do want to get this for yourself, guys, head over to Fanhome. You can still get this along with Dom's charger, the Skyline. There's loads over there, guys, so check their site out. And also, I have got another build coming to the channel. That is it now, though, guys. I've got 7 builds on the go. I am not doing any more. It's hard enough to get done what I'm getting done, as you guys know. But yeah, there's a new build coming to the channel, so keep an eye out for that. I'm not going to tell you what it is as yet, but I might put a few teasers before it comes to the channel. It might be in the next couple of weeks. I've started the subscription today as you're watching this video. It usually takes, it says, up to 29 days to get your first pack. But with going forward with the motorbike, the Ducati, I'll put that there, just here, that was with me in a couple of weeks. So this new build I'm doing hopefully will be with me before this side of Christmas, and you'll be seeing another build to the channel. If you want to follow me, guys, and watch all these builds, remember to click that subscribe button, press the bell notification. You'll always be notified every time I put up whatever build you're interested in watching. But for now, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Peace.